Apple slashes App Store fees for smaller developers.
Sure.
Tech giant cuts its take from 30% to 15% for some app makers in a wake of criticism over its power in the Apple device ecosystem. Starting next year, the iPhone maker said Wednesday it will collect 15% rather than 30% App Store sales from companies that generate no more than $1 million in revenue through the software platform, including in-app purchases. The fee will remain 30% for developers whose sales through the App Stores, excluding commissions payments, exceed $1 million. So this is for folks that are below $1 million, meaning the reduction won't affect such vocal Apple opponents as video game company Epic Games, aka Fortnite, right?
Yeah.
Which we talked about that before. Apple's 30% takes has been at the heart of complaints this year from other tech companies and some other users over how it manages the vast digital world of people who uses iPhone, iPads. Pretty much they're a monopoly there with this world. But what are your thoughts about what Apple's doing with going from 30 to 15?
This is something that we covered a few months ago when Fortnite came out with that, not Fortnite, Epic Games, the owner of Fortnite, came out with that sick commercial. Kai, I don't know if you want to pull that up, where they basically used Apple's infamous commercial from 1984.
Sick commercial. Yeah, to take a shot at them.
Took a ridiculous shot at basically put this whole story on the map.
Yeah.
I mean, we weren't talking about this story prior to that. They put this story on the map. Now, since then, we've seen Tim Apple, a.k.a. Tim Cook, have to show up in front of Congress, as well as Jack Dorsey and Mark Zuckerberg, and essentially big tech in Congress. And now basically what Apple did was says, you know what? Here's the commercial. And then the guy throws the unicorn-shaped
a Fortnite at Apple. And that's a brilliant move that they made. So
essentially what they've been accused of is the App Store monopoly, right? So they're monopolizing these developers that are coming on the website or on the App Store. Now, obviously, there's been big tech regulation. We've seen this happen to everyone in Congress. But what I think they've done is essentially
let me read this for viewers that haven't seen this. Epic Games has defied the App Store monopoly. In retaliation, Apple is blocking Fortnite from 1 billion devices. Join the fight to stop 2020 from becoming 1984.
Very
phenomenal.
Are they still not on the App Store? No.
They're still not on the App Store.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, they're still not on the App Store.
Clearly a sick commercial. Clearly spawned just everyone being like, all right, what the hell is going on here? So what I think Apple did here was sort of say, all right, we're getting a lot of hate. We're getting a lot of haters out there. So let's self-regulate before Congress or anyone steps in. So I've got some numbers for you. So in 2019, worldwide commerce, Apple generated $519 billion. 85% of that went to third parties, right? So they generated $54 billion in revenue. What I thought was interesting is there's the number here is 1 million. So if you make less than 1 million in revenue, they charge you 15%. If you make more than $1 million, do you know what percentage of apps on the App Store generate more than 1 million?
What percentage?
Yes,
I'd say 90%.
Yeah, a high percentage.
Okay, 0.2%.
Wait, say that. Ask the question one more.
What percentage of apps on the App Store generate more than $1 million?
What percentage generates more than $1 million? Is only 0.2%?
That's according to the Wall Street Journal, yes.
What percentage of apps?
Yes.
The question is, what percentage of revenues comes to them from those doing less than $1 million? So that's the real question. Because there's a lot of ghetto apps. There you go, 92%.
Here's the number, exactly. 92% of Apple's revenue comes from these companies that make more than $1 million.
Yep.
0.2%, not 2%, 0.2% comes from apps that generate more than $1 million. So there's 1.8 million apps on the App Store.
Yeah, but that's
and a small percentage of it is essentially generating more than $1 million. That's all it is. So basically, the big dogs who are making all the money, the big dogs, they're going to continue to pay 30%.
They're not affected. They're going to have to pay.
They're going to be fine. And then all the small little apps, which is essentially 1.7999 of the 1.8 million apps, are going to pay 15%.
You got something on
this? Here's what it is. It's a
good data right there, by the way.
It's a slumlord lowering rent on low-income housing. That's all it is. He's not touching the rent on the penthouse.
Why do you have to? You don't have to.
Right. Three things that Apple isn't known for: being charitable, being stupid, and losing money. Okay, so clearly this is a PR move. This is all it is. Because the average person is going to think, oh, wow, Apple's thinking about me, the little guy. But It's a math problem. That's all it is. Nothing's changed as far as their revenue.
Let me tell you what my concern is. I'm going to tell you what my concern is. Here's what my biggest concern is. I'm being very sincere about this. Everybody knows I'm an Apple guy. Okay, we got an Apple yesterday, right? Everything to us is Apple. We love Apple. There's Apple there. There's Apple here. There's Apple here.
This isn't an Apple commercial, though.
No, this is not an Apple commercial. What I'm trying to say is I'm a pro-Apple guy, but I'm going to tell you what scares the hell out of me with this. So think about what Twitter and Facebook. So Twitter, perfect example with Twitter. We haven't even talked about this, by the way. It's not even on the story. I don't know why we didn't add it to the story. Jack Dorsey comes out and says what? We made a mistake. We should have let that New York Post story go. Well, they knew if they would have allowed that story to go, that would have gotten a few 100 million views that day, right? If they would have let that story go. But now he says what? I apologize. We did the wrong thing. A week after election. Okay, a week after election, he says that. The power these big corporations are starting to have is a little too much. Little too much. And I'm all capitalism, but watch what happens here. Here's my biggest concern. Apple comes out with the iPhone 12, right? I got it. It's the 512. I'm going to give away 9 of these right now.
You got it. That's it.
It's the brand new one.
Looking at it right there.
This is the brand new one.
Let me get a look here.
This is the brand. Well, you got to take it out to see what it looks like with
the
new iPhone. If you take the thing out, just to kind of see what they did to the body, because that's what the difference is. Okay, if you take this out, if I can take it out, I've been got to hit the weights a little bit more lately, man. This is. So they went back to the old.
What the hell happened to your phone?
But look at what it is the round thing is gone. And, by the way, it still breaks. Paul bought it. The next day he broke it. So it still breaks. So if you drop it, you're still going to break it. Shout out to Paul Escarcega for breaking his new iPhone.
Nice, Paul.
But the point with this is, my concern is, where's BlackBerry? Where's Droid? Where's the Google phone? There is no competition. Look what's happened here. If I wanted, I'm like, hey, can you get your phone? I'm going to do an AirDrop. Oh, I'm Droid. Bro, can you get on iPhone? You have to get on iPhone. I can't do AirDrop to you. I send a text. I put a thumbs up on it. You ever done a thumbs up for somebody that has Droid? It comes back saying message wasn't received. Why not?
It happens to Eric all the time.
That's
I send him a message. It comes up green.
You know.
I learn how to throw up every time I text him.
You want to FaceTime a Droid? You can't do it. You want to do an iTunes download? You can't do. You want to go to a movie? You do Shazam. Shazam takes you to iTunes. Everything goes to. All roads lead to Apple, which is absolutely scary, because if Apple doesn't like you and they decide to take a fortnight out, they can afford to do that. And there's nothing you can say about it. Why? Because it's in a place like this where capitalism needs some work. Meaning, Apple's getting to the point of monopoly. Apple's getting to the point of control. And this is where somebody's got to get involved, because there is no choices. So they can do anything they want to do today. They can get away with murder today if they wanted to, because we don't have that many choices. So my biggest concern isn't the fact that they're saying, good for them. It's like being progressive tax is what they're doing. The more money you make, the more taxes you pay. So they just came out with a new progressive tax to say the smaller earners pay less taxes. And quite frankly, if you're making $1 million, say you're doing $900,000 in apps. You were paying 30%, which is what? $270. Now you're going to pay 15%, which is what? $135. That additional $135 goes to you. What does that $135 pay you? Either 3 employees or an additional $135 in your pocket. It's a good amount for people doing less than $1 million, but it's not going to do anything to their revenues at the top. So my only concern, Apple's getting a little too strong.
If you're going to be a monopoly like an Apple, potentially, you better have the best product. So thank God they do.
They do.
At least for
There's
that.
no question.
And the other thing that you'd be concerned with a monopoly is the pricing. But at least the iPhone 12 came down a little, right? So, and the other, isn't the iPhone 12, it was a decent price compared to the 11? Wasn't that part of the story?
I mean, this was still $1,500. So, but this is a 512. So I don't know if it's gone down or not.
And then Apple right now has Twitter and Facebook running cover for them, because Congress is more concerned about their censorship and the things that they're doing with the social media as opposed to Apple. They might be able to get away with forming a monopoly where the Justice Department won't be looking at them because they have bigger fish to fry in Silicon Valley with these other clowns.
You know how they say what comes first, the chicken or the egg? Okay, who needs who more? Google needs who? Is it Google? Is it Apple? Is it Amazon, or is it, what's the other one? Is it
Facebook?
Facebook. Who needs who more? So Apple, Facebook, Amazon, or Google? Which comes first?
Most people are getting all that stuff from their phone. So you would say that Apple is the gatekeeper.
That is so dangerous,
for everything else.
You have to understand.
If I'm going to get something on Amazon, I'm going on my phone.
True. And
I'm going on
Google's
Facebook, I'm going on my phone.
What I'm trying to say to you, that's what's scary. By the way, Google pays Apple $13 billion every year to be on their phone. Google pays Apple $13 billion just to check. Hey, Apple, did you know that? $13 billion. It may even be higher right now.
Yeah, and does that include for Chrome, for being on?
They paid $13 billion just for their Chrome, for their stuff to be on there. $13 billion. Guess what Apple's going to do every year? $15 billion,
Raise
$20 billion.
the
Guess
price,
what?
right?
No, let's negotiate. No, $20 billion.
Right.
You can't say nothing because the chicken or the egg, that Apple is.
But you know what?
But
Chrome
isn't that
is so
just
much better than Safari. They have to keep having Chrome on there. I don't like Safari.
I don't know if I disagree with you, but I don't think the answer is they have to. Nothing with Apple right now is they have to. But the fact that they're doing this, I think this is a sign in the right direction. The fact that they're doing this is a little bit of a sign in the right direction. The fact that they're going from 30 to 15%. You can't all of a sudden go say somebody's giving you $1 billion of revenues. Oh, we're going to go to 15%. I'm going to get now $500 million. Who the hell is going to do that? But the fact that they're doing this, they're trying to get the small developers to still want to come and build apps on their platform, which I don't know. But I'm telling you guys right now, Apple's getting a little too. People are worried about Amazon. All roads lead to Apple.
But doesn't this further your argument a little bit about the monopolization of this company? Because
Yeah.
by lowering that, they're going to attract everybody. Why wouldn't you go to Apple if you were somewhere else?
But
You mean if you're an app developer? I mean, you're
Okay,
going there
Let me
anyway,
ask you this.
right?
Let me
I
ask you this. If you're watching this right now, I'm actually curious to know how many of you guys don't use an Apple phone. I don't care what phone it is. Just say, I don't use an iPhone, and what kind of phone it is you use. Just type it below and say, I don't use an Apple phone. I use Samsung. I use Droid. I use, what else is there? Droid, Samsung, Google, what is it? Huawei, LG. I'm curious. What is the second
Huawei.
best phone in the world right now? Is it Droid?
That was essentially my question. Is we talked about the monopoly here. If you're not using Apple, what are you using? What are you using over there, Mario?
Apple.
Okay. If you're not using Apple, what are you using? So I'm glad you asked that question. And then my second question would be on tax. Is this going to be, and I don't know if we have this answer, but something we can maybe uncover, is this 15% versus 30%, is that going to be a marginal tax bracket? Meaning if you make $1.1 million, is your first million taxed at 15%?
Yeah,
and
that's
then
what they're going to do.
Then your next
That's what
100,000
they would
taxed
do.
at 30%?
They're not going to bump you up. Of course, that's what they're going to do. They're going to have to go your first million at
First
30.
million, and then you
if
go to
they
marginal
didn't do that,
tax
what a
bracket.
shady system. They would
Yeah.
they would get so much backlash if they do it in that way.
Kai, what are your thoughts on that, man? That marginal tax bracket. He learned about that the other day.
Yeah.
He asked, why would I want to make more money if I pay more in taxes?
You know, Norwegians don't know what guacamole is. Right?
Hey, you know what Apple needs to
we got Paul
do?
good,
Do you
didn't we?
guys not miss the flip phone? Because don't you need a dramatic way to end a conversation? You can't do that anymore.
Oh, that's
Tapping
right.
the off button is not
You know
as
what?
cool as slapping
I'm
that
done.
thing.
Bam!
And then just clapping that
By the way,
thing.
I had the Netflix. I used to do it so hard that I would break it. Mine was always the one that would hang up. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Why, that many people pissed you off every day?
Bam!
You were a lot more aggressive back then when
You
that
don't-
was a thing.
You did not even want to know. But okay, here we go. This is what people are saying. By the way, a lot of people apparently don't use it. Okay, Samsung, Google Pixel. Let's see here. I don't. Xiaomi. I don't know what that's. Android, Samsungs. I use an Android, Huawei, Android, Samsung Galaxy 20. Apple is virus free. Xiaomi. What is Xiaomi, by the way? I use Xiaomi. Xiamoi. Have you heard of had that phone? Can you pull it up? I have no idea what that is.
One guy's stuck here in 1998. He says he used AOL Instant Messenger. Good luck with that guy.
I think
Go to
French for ham radio.
XIAOMI.
Oh, okay.
What is this? Click on
It's
it.
a Chinese brand.
Wow.
Huawei.
Okay. It's like a Huawei.
Yeah.
Click on images. Yeah, I've never heard of this. This is great. I mean, I love seeing competition. There are lots of Samsung. Apple sucks. Okay, good. I like seeing that. I like people saying Apple sucks. I hope you stay to that. And I hope Android. So there's got to be some competition. I'm hoping Android is not sitting there behind closed doors saying, guys, we can't compete with these guys. It's over. I'm hoping they're not saying it's
Right.
over.
And they're probably not, right? I mean, as big as they are.
I don't know about that because I'm not seeing it. By the way, if you're watching this, do you think another competitor is going to come and give Apple a run for their money? If yes, put thumbs up. If no, thumbs down. This could have a lot of thumbs down with this one. If you think they are, put thumbs up. If you don't think, put thumbs down.
Pat, what's it going
I'm
to take
curious.
for
By the
you
way,
to get
people
back
actually
to...
miss you. People actually miss you.
Thank you, guys.
People
love
actually
you. Love
miss
you.
Yeah, people
Much
actually,
love.
I was surprised.
What's
but
it
they
going to
miss
take
you.
for you to get back to your old BlackBerry days?
If BlackBerry does something creative, it would be. But
Yeah.
at this point, the business model of phone, if you want to compete with Apple, you have to do one thing. You can't just say, let's build a better phone than this. That's not going to work. We have to build a better net. What do I need? So think about it this way. What do you use the most? Like Microsoft Word, do you use that a lot? What do you use a lot? Use Microsoft Outlook, use Microsoft. What things do you use that's a form of a net?
Yeah.
Do you use Google email, Google Drive? What do you
For
use
me,
that's
it's
a
Google.
net?
I think Google's the greatest invention in the history of mankind. I mean, Gmail and the search engine, I don't know how you could possibly live without it.
Okay, so but Google has to go more than that. It's got to be music. It's got to be movies. Like, it's got to be something more than that. I don't like if Amazon came out and their app is linked to Amazon and movies, and if you bought Amazon's phone, and then that's.
But Apple has too big of a head start. There's no way because of their.
This is. By the way,
they're creating content.
I mean, look, you buy the phone's been the same phone for a long time. They just keep adding more cameras to the back. It's like, oh, we got more cameras and it's faster every time, and I buy it. I'm like, okay, I'm a loyalist, so I keep buying it.
But
right?
what about the 5G? Can you tell a huge difference?
Yes, speed is insane. Speed
This is
insane.
5G.
Yeah, speed is insane. I'm not gonna lie to you, it's so fast, and I feel the speed. It's very good.
What was the first year you had an Apple phone, an iPhone?
I said I'm the guy that said I would never flip to an iPhone until this one guy came to my office. I'll remember his name here in a minute. He came to my office and says, "Let me tell you, 10 minutes why I need to own an iPhone." And I said, "Okay, tell me." So I was trying to do business with him. He says, "Here's why." Boom, 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 boom. I said, man, he's just got a great argument.
What year was that?
This was in 2007,
Was his last name
2008.
Jobs? I mean,
No, 2007.
Okay, right. That's my
2008.
point. It's
Hey,
only
2008.
It's only been 12, 13
Yeah.
years. So since I'm an Apple guy,
Yeah.
it hasn't been decades and decades and
No,
decades. Like,
but
what was your
12
first
years
year
is
that
old.
you
That's
had
a
an
quarter of
Apple?
my life.
No, listen, I had an Apple MacBook in 1995. So I've had the computer since the mid 90s. I had a
Saying
BlackBerry.
the iPhone though.
The iPhone, I didn't want to switch. I used to be a BlackBerry guy, and I was afraid.
what
I just thought
year?
I'd never pick it up, and it took like one day. 2012 probably.
2012.
I don't know,
it took you to
2010?
switch.
I'm
Damn.
losing my memory. I don't know. 10 years ago, something like that.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
Yeah,
let's,
I remember when the switch was occurring in the late 2007, 2008 ish. You had friends started popping up with iPhones, like, oh, check this out. I'm like, buddy, BlackBerry, what are you talking about? And then,
by the way, people
rest in peace,
people
BlackBerry.
don't think there's going to be competition for Apple. Did you notice that? People don't think there's going to be
I
competition
agree with
for
them.
Apple.
I think it's too tough.
Wow.
They'll squash them.
I trust capitalism. I just think the government's got to get involved here to say, hey, you guys got a monopoly. We got to break it apart. They got to get involved here. This
So
is.
you
Well,
think the
that's the
government
only
should
way it could
break it
happen.
apart?
Remember what I'm not a fan of. Like, people think I'm a fan of. I'm not a fan of bullies. Okay. The moment a company becomes too big of a bully, not a fan of that. I don't mind bullying bullies, but I have a problem when the bully is bullying the little guy. I don't like that when that's what's taking place, right? So right now, Apple can kind of go out there and bully a lot of people.
Apple's the bully.
Apple,
I'm not questioning that. I'm saying
are
Apple
you
is the bully.
even questioning that?
What I find humorous is that Apple was the little startup
Yeah.
that could, you know.
but they're now
2
so
decades
big.
ago.
Well, David versus Goliath. Sometimes David becomes Goliath.
Well, exactly. That's my
Yeah,
point.
some-
But you
is
know
they
what else
were-
is
they were
brilliant about
David
Apple?
But they have the mindset of a David. That's why they keep growing.
Yeah.
They think like a David. They still think they're nobody. They still
awesome.
think they're the small guy.
That's awesome.
But they're playing the offense in a way that's the game. The game is being won by them. So look, there's crony capitalism that makes capitalism look bad. There's monopoly that makes capitalism look bad. Okay, and this is one of those situations. This is not crony capitalism. This is a monopoly.
You know what I think a huge asset for Apple is? I think Tim Cook is likable. He doesn't come across as
He
a
is.
bully.
Yeah.
I mean, they're front and center CEO.
Steve Jobs did.
Oh, totally.
Not Tim Cook.
And took pride in
Yeah.
it as well. But
Here's
Tim Cook is the opposite
You're
of
right.
that.
Here's a guy that disagrees with 95% of Trump's policies, and he goes and works with Trump. I don't know anybody
'Cause
on
he's
that
rational.
side.
Yeah.
He just goes and says, hey, would you like to help us launch the new Mac? Well, yeah, sure. Trump goes, I'd like to come and help the government out. I'd like to come because let's sit down and talk. How do you do? You got to
He's a
respect.
strategic thinker.
Yeah,
He's not,
exactly.
what does he,
But
what does he want to go to
I-
war with the president of the United States if
No,
you're
no.
Apple?
It's
No.
called setting aside your emotions, buddy. That's what it's
That's
called.
not.